Good evening, everyone. We will start the session in like 5 minutes, right? It is a very cold evening, so we can wait for a few more minutes. We will be hosting it in Google Meet as well as on the YouTube. So we do have few students at YouTube also, right? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
All right. So I hope my voice is audible. I hope you
Yes.
can see the screen.
Yes, sir, your voice is audible and the screen is also visible.
All right. So thank you, sir. I hope Swayambhu is also here. I just saw him. Swayambhu, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you. So we can begin, right? We have students here at Google Meet, and we also have students at the YouTube, right? And those who will miss, they will have the chance to see this interaction on YouTube again, right? So we can start, right? So again, a very warm welcome to everyone. Right, I am Mayak Malvi. I am a mentor as well as founder at Planet Geology, right? So we have a very special guest with us, right? Swayambhu Tripathi. He has secured a marvelous All India rank 3 in this year's UPSC Geoscientist Examination, right? So, firstly, I would like to, thanks Swayambhu to, accept our request and come here for this interaction, which will surely be benefiting a lot of students, right? So, presently, this is the mark sheet. I think individual mark sheet is not available right now. It may be available by in couple of days, right? So this is his mark sheet in the public domain. So he has secured 452 marks in written examination, and he has got among one of the highest in interview, right? In the batch 144. So his score is around 600. 596 is his total score, right? So just I will briefly introduce about Swayambhu to you all, and then I will hand over it to Lawrence sir and Swayambhu himself to discuss his journey and his strategy, how he cracked open this, right? So I think basically Swayambhu belongs to Rajnandgaon district, Rajnandgaon town of Chhattisgarh, right? He did his BTech in geoinformatics engineering from UPES Dehradun, right? So it is also very striking feature that he basically is not from geology, core geology background, right? Despite that, he could crack open the most difficult exam. Like we often say that this UPSC Geoscientist examination is mother of all geology exam, right? In terms of geology syllabus, coverage, depth. So he has cracked open this, right? So after his graduation, he went to IIT Bombay to pursue his master's degree in petroleum geosciences, right? He has also worked, he has also worked as a business developer, and then recently he has been working consistently as senior faculty, sometimes for mathematics and physics in Pune and Bangalore, right? And strikingly, this is his first attempt at UPSC geoscientist examination. So it is quite a quite a inspiring profile, especially for many of us, right? We keep complaining that the syllabus is too much despite having, right, and the time is very short, which is a fact. But we can learn some lessons of efficiency and true confidence from Swayambhu from this talk, right? I forgot to mention Lawrence sir is also with us. He will be moderating the session. Most of you might be knowing Lawrence sir. Lawrence sir is also a mentor and co-founder at Planet Geology. Sir is the lead mentor for GSI and GATE segment, and like he has been mentoring student, and he was also one of the lead mentor for Swayambhu, right? So with this, Lawrence sir, please you take over and welcome again Swayambhu, right?
Yes, sir.
I will just
Welcome, Swayambhu. It's very nice to have you here.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. And first of all, congratulations. You have like secured such a good rank and made us all very, very proud. So we will open the floor to like students also so that they can ask their questions. But before even we go to them, like we can like start ourselves like few questions. I think definitely everyone will have in their mind. So first and foremost, you
I
also
just
had
want to interrupt whether the starting recording has started.
yes. Anyway, thank you for
All right.
reminding. Yeah, Bank sir. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
yes. Okay. So again, Swayambhu, so one question which people usually like will have looking at your profile overall is you had like appeared from geophysics also in the past. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what was your like motivation that you will try with geology?
Sir, I qualified GATE in geophysics also in
Yes.
2016. With my rank was 148 at that time.
Okay.
So after that, I got admission in IIT Bombay in MTech Petroleum Geosciences. So after
Yes.
completing MTech Petroleum Geosciences, I was looking at the eligibility criteria for different examinations. So when I saw the different eligibility criteria of ONGC, I saw first. They were asking if you have done the MTech Petroleum Geosciences, you have to appear in geology in Part B section of GATE.
Okay.
Then I saw GSI, they were also asking you should have geology, means you have to study geology. For geologist post, I can apply. So after 2018, I started preparing for geology. So I have done both remote sensing GIS during my BTech. Then I studied geophysics. Then I studied geology, and then I reached up to here. Sir.
Okay, and it is a very commendable achievement, like covering
Yes.
in such a short time period, because sometimes we prepared ourselves like for 5 years only for geology in university, and then for exam preparation is on top of that. Okay, the fact that you have
Yes.
managed to do it in such a short time frame is pretty commendable. Okay,
Yes.
so when you started, did it ever occur to you that it might be unsurmountable task, like it might be really huge, or were you like motivated enough at that time?
So initially, after 2018, when I have completed my masters, I asked few of the MSc students that how should I prepare for the examination. They told me, for example, sir, for igneous petrology, they told me you have to study winter. So they didn't specify how much I have to study winter. So I was reading the winter full. Then for geomorphology, they said you have to study Savinder Singh. So there was no proper guidance for me at that time. So slowly and slowly, I learned the subject, sir, and I will especially thank to Planet Geology that, especially during my mains preparation, sir, that curriculum which you have offered, I have maintained notes from that part only. I have, because I have not a proper background from geology, so I don't know how much to study. Your course have guided me. Whatever was there in that course, I have literally made each and every point. I have not missed a single word from the video, whatever you have said and whatever notes you have provided. Each and every word I have wrote, and it really helped me to write the mains answer, sir. And I have checked few few answer mark sheets also, and in the top 10 also I have scored highest in the mains exam also, sir.
Okay, that is very good, Swayambhu.
Yes, sir.
And I would also like to point out, because you touched upon a very important point. Okay, so for
Yes,
example, a lot of students here have doubts like which book list to follow. Okay,
yes,
sometimes they will try to read one book from front page to last page, which is never really
yes, sir.
required. And sometimes students will not stick to a particular source. Okay, I think the best thing
Yes,
that you did was you stuck to a particular source. Okay,
yes,
okay,
sir.
you stuck to Planet Geology. Okay, that is a very good thing. But that is important thing. For example, there are like so many coaching institutes also out there. Okay, but it is very important that like we say like we are the best in the market. Okay, but this is advice for every student, that you should pick your sources and then stick to those sources, because then you will keep getting distracted. Okay, if you are in that mindset that okay, I will miss out if I don't read this, I have to read this also, so they're always thinking like that I'm missing something. Okay, so it is important.
Yes, sir.
And another thing is like it will help you revise also, if you are in if you're doing like limited sources. So again, coming back to that point, okay, were you able to do like multiple revisions of the syllabus, or be- because you were also working at the same time?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
or did you is this something you struggled with?
Sir, for first thing I have first thing I always noted that the syllabus is very vast,
Yes.
and I have to revise at least multiple number of times. So I made my notes very precise, sir. Means whatever I have studied full day, when before going to sleep, I revise for 30-40 minutes. Then weekly revision I planned. Then 15 days revision I planned, and then 28 days revision I planned. So means I don't have very vast notes in the end because I studied very precisely for exam point of view, and it really helped me during the revision also, and multiple revisions I did, sir, because of that.
Okay, good. And did you also follow any of the previous year questions?
Yes, sir. Previous year GSI mains I have followed from 2015 to 21. I have followed, sir. Previous year,
2015.
how means what is the level of the questions they were asking, and it was exactly matching with the course you were giving, sir, at that time during the GSI mains course you have offered. It was exactly matching, so it really helped me at that time.
Okay, very good. Okay, yeah, like we are happy that we could be helpful in that regard. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we will also be just like this, to other students. You can start posting your questions also. So I will continue in the meantime. But if you have any questions, you can start posting. The same is true for like those who are viewing us on YouTube. I'm getting a lot of congratulatory messages on YouTube also. So Jagannath Mishra is telling you congratulations and hello. Okay, there is one who is saying Swayambhu sir, congratulations. I don't know his actual name, but the YouTube name is very funny. It's loser, but still at higher level, higher love. They're like hearts.
Sir,
So
most of my school students will also join, sir.
okay, that's good. Okay, and a lot of them are interested in this GSI preparation. Who are there? Okay, so those on YouTube and on the chat, you can like if you have any questions, you can start typing it in the chat box, or you could also raise your hands. You should have a hand symbol here, so then we can like unmute, ask you to unmute and ask yourself. Okay.
Sir, may I ask a question, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks.
So, like Swayambhu, I also want to learn from you that how did you use the course, right? Like we also mentor apart from GATE and GSI, other student ISIFS. So a lot of times students struggle. How to like even giving coaching is not enough, right? It is
Yes,
up
sir.
to the student how to grasp it. So like some students they just watch the video and later make notes from slides. Some make running notes. So how did you exactly use the course and the video and like what was your way?
Sir, after qualifying prelims, I will be very honest, sir. I didn't have a single notes. After prelims, I started to make notes. So when Lawrence sir has made the proper bundle in the website, so I was working at that time. I have decided that I will listen to the audio because I was working in a school and their mobile was not allowed in the classroom while teaching. So I have a Bluetooth earphone, so I listened all his audio at that time. And after coming back to the home, whatever sir has told, I made the proper notes. For example, sir, suppose in the paleontology section, if ammonoids is going on, so I made the notes in such a way that I will write the exact answer if that particular topic will come in the exam. I will not go here and there. Suppose morphology of ammonoids came, so I am writing the notes in such a way that I will exactly replicate the same answer in the mains answer sheet.
Okay. So you used you made notes in a question answer format kind of a thing, right? So
Yes,
it
sir.
was like a ready-made answer for
Yes,
subjective exam, right?
yes.
And another thing, like you said that just after prelims you didn't have notes, so you did like you were studying for both. When you studied, you like did you what was your focus? The conceptual clarity, or like you segregated your preparation for prelims or mains?
Sir, my main focus was that the conceptually the topic should be clear because sometime in GSI also in the if you see the current pattern they ask question from means concept based questions has been asked this time. So my main
Right.
focus was concept should be clear, and if suppose if something comes from stratigraphy or paleontology where memorization is required, I should exactly replicate that answer in the answer sheet because in stratigraphy we don't have to think so much and time is also less. So then I have to
Right.
memorize some few things from particular topics from the geology. Others are I mainly focused on the concepts.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And during like pre preparation also sometimes in like you'll find there are like quite conceptual questions. You need some deep understanding, especially if you look at
Yes.
wording of some of the questions in GSI prelims. Some of them can be very simple, and also
Yes, sir.
unlike GATE, where like from a particular subject you get 2-3 questions at max, in GSI like from every subject you will get 10-12 questions. So
Yes,
they
sir.
touch upon like a lot of topics. So and because pre marks are also counted in the end, so that also helps if your pre preparation is good, and it definitely helps you in your mains preparation as well.
Yes, sir.
So I have a question from Anshul. He is asking like if you were able to make all the notes from videos after prelims because you had such
Yes, sir.
less time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was able to make all the notes because when I got the prelims result, before that time I was working in Bangalore as a teacher in one of the school. So after the declaration of the result, I think it was 3rd of March. So I left the job, sir, at that time because I wanted to devote myself fully on the preparation of mains. So I used to study 10 to 12 hours minimum. I am talking about, sir, and I was properly making the notes from the videos because
Okay.
I know that I have to write the answers after 2 3 months. So I was continuously answer writing practice also I was doing at the same time. But
Right.
concept clarity is very required because you cannot memorize all the things because syllabus is very vast.
Yes.
Right.
And were you able to
And so,
like?
sir, I also remember like Swayambhu messaging me after prelims, right? So he calculated his mark roughly, and he said that I think his score was somewhere around 175 to 80, right? Something like that. He
Yes, sir.
messaged. So he was above, surely above cutoff, but it was not like he way much ahead of
Yes.
cutoff. So like,
Yes, sir.
so the learning is for other student is that like obviously the syllabus is very high, but देखो इन्होंने भी नॉन जियोलॉजी बैकग्राउंड होने के बाद प्रीलिम्स के बाद जो 3 महीने 3.5 महीने मिलते हैं उसमें उन्होंने मेहनत करके फोकस प्रिपरेशन करके नोट्स बनाए और इतने अच्छे नोट्स बनाए कि प्रीलिम्स में शायद उतना अच्छा स्कोर ना भी आया उसके बाद भी रैंक 3 लेके आए राइट सो डेफिनेटली ही डिड वेरी गुड इन मेंस सो इट इज
Yes,
आल्सो
sir.
इट शुड आल्सो अभी जो लोग हैं उनका भी प्रीलिम्स आ गया 1 महीने बाद प्रीलिम्स बहुत लोग का निकल जाता है फिर पीपल आर वेरी एंशियस कि यार अब कैसे करेंगे सो यू हैव एन लाइव इंस्पिरेशन राइट so
Yes.
it is very much possible, right? Just was hard work needed, rahega. Like he mentioned, he
Yes.
studied 8 to 10 hours.
Yes, Mayank, so you have mentioned very important point that only got around 175 in prelim. So I don't have means too much friends from the geology background. So I used to ask them that is this score is sufficient? So they were telling no, this much score is not sufficient to get your name in the final list. But I was motivated that okay, my score was average in the prelims, but I should score very high in the mains. So
Right.
I have practiced a lot, sir. A lot of answer writings I have done, and in the top 10, I have when I checked the mark sheet, I was the highest scorer in the mains.
Okay,
Right,
that is
right.
very wonderful.
Yes,
So like all the students are also requested to ask questions, like whatever you wish to, his insights, you can ask. We will, you can ask via voice text, voice message also, like I am doing it, or you can type it, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, so yeah, you can unmute yourself and ask the question also if you would like to interact or, audio wise, or you could type like whatever is convenient for you. Yes, Akib, you can ask the question.
Sir, I want to know, ask like, how did you prepare about the general studies and on which part did you focus much?
For the general studies, current affair I focused, and as I was teaching the physics and maths from 6th to 11th grade, so my science portion was very strong. Means I got a lot of score. Means when I heard that everyone was telling that chemistry and physics portion was very tough in the GS, for me too, it is very easy because I was teaching in the from 6 to 10, so it helped me. Otherwise, you can focus on current affairs and very simple questions from the polity they ask in the GS. Very simple question, direct article based question. And history, modern history you can prepare in the GS.
Okay.
So most of the questions they ask from modern history. Medieval history, if you don't study also, then it will be fine. But if you study, it's very good. And ancient history, they ask very less questions. So current affairs and science and tech, you have to be very focused on.
Yes, and science, like, because especially here, if you look at the breakage in marks in prelims general studies for the past 3 years, science forms the biggest portion because
Yes,
they try to give like equal weightage to physics, chemistry, math as let's say history. So chemistry itself is as equivalent as history. So science is very important. And do you have like any comments on like science? For example, if you look at UPSC civil services, it is more current affairs based, but in GSI it is more conceptual based. So are there any sources you would recommend for students to go through, like if they want to read a book or something, like which classes
Yes, sir.
science books they should study?
So 8th, 9th, 10th, physics, chemistry, bio, if you study, you will score very good. Because I know I am teaching in this 8th, 9th, 10th grade. Even the bio questions were very, very simple.
Yes.
If you have studied NCRT only, 8th, 9th, 10th NCRT,
8, 9.
that's it. You will, yes, sir.
Yeah. And like for us, like we also have that general studies course also, in which a lot of students used to ask like should they study Lucent or compiled notes on science and technology from other institutes which are like, for example, teaching for general studies, UPSC civil services. But looking at the pattern, if you look at like our course general studies, it is based on NCRT only. So we have covered like physics, chemistry, and bio NCRT also, like we have covered all of them. And questions usually, especially in the previous years, they were exactly from 8th, 9th, 10th. This year there were a couple of questions in each subject which I would say came from like 11th, 12th standard
Yes,
chemistry
sir.
books
In
also.
chemistry, especially, sir,
Yeah,
chemistry,
organic
that
chemistry
reactions they have been.
they asked. So but if you like, easiest lowest hanging fruit which you can cover is like your science NCRTs. Okay. And if you want to go through like our course in general studies also, we have covered all those three.
Like there is also another question regarding geology objective paper, right? In prelims. So, like, did you practice objective questions of geology from somewhere, or you just focus on concept and it was like it happened in prelims?
Sir, whenever I have completed any topic, for example, let's say sedimentology, whenever I have completed, I used to practice MCQs from GATE, and one textbook is there, sir. Azhar Hussain textbook is there. In that, lot of MCQ questions are there. From that, I used to prepare MCQ. So if I am not able to answer any question, then again I have to read that topic. So this is how I have maintained the good concept on that particular topic.
And I would like also comment, like this was my personal strategy also many times in exams, is even if I was like preparing for mains, sometimes I would personally just touch upon the objective types also, because sometimes it can help you memorize some of the terms when you see that term 2 3 times, and when you don't answer a question and you have to look back to your notes or to the source material, it kind of reinforces your learning what you have learned. It's like kind of an active revision strategy. So sometimes it can help, like it's not like always you have to solve MCQs for MCQ type question only. So for example, you will not solve of course gate questions for your GSI mains, but some things like for example some fossils name you are not able to remember. So if you solve a few MCQs, it can help. And MCQ solving will not take a lot of time. Okay, it will actually, if you see, it may take a few hours, but benefits are huge. Okay, so you should always like practice something. And then of course you have to practice PYQs of GSI which are mains based also. Okay, so then you brainstorm like what you will write in those answers.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, you had a question?
Yes, sir. Swayambhu sir, first of all, congratulations. My question is regarding mains, how you managed time and what was your strategy for writing? What would you suggest for someone who is lacking in mains marks, writing part?
My strategy was that when I was sitting during the exam, that I have to complete full paper of 200 marks. Because if you see, they give very less marks in the mains. Even if you complete all the papers, you get very less marks. So first thing was in my mind, anyhow, I have to complete the full paper. So I usually started with section B in the GSI mains. And from there I completed. In the last, I have attempted the section A, which has 10 questions. And the main thing is you have to write in points. Okay, don't write in paragraphs and fill all the whatever space has been provided, because they will not check like that. Write the minimum things, make the diagrams properly, and no need to fill the whole paper. Like most of the my seniors used to tell, you have to fill the full 3 pages for 15 marks answer. It's not like that. You have to mention the keywords properly, make the diagrams properly, and write only the relevant things. And if you write any, for example, any reactions or triangular diagrams or any flow charts and all, it will really help you to score good marks in the main.
Okay. Uh, we have one question. I'll take one question from YouTube. Okay, it is question from Eclogite. I don't know what's the real name, but that is a very geological name, so I will take that question first. So, will practicing all previous year questions cover at least 75% of the syllabus?
Uh,
Like I want to put this question in a way that a lot of students what they do is like they don't want to study it like from topic wise conceptual what you meant, right? So
yes.
obviously time is less, so वो इस तरह की strategy follow करते हैं, but बहुत बार इसके साथ ऐसा भी होता है कि सर आपसे PYQs को लिख लें अगर 75% 85% PYQs तो हो जाएगा क्या clear? Like what is your say on it?
Sir, if you study only PYQ, as per my knowledge, you will get only around 60-70 marks in mains out of 200. Because if you see the current pattern, for example, this time only they have asked question from monoclinic system 2/M system. So if you have studied only PYQs, monoclinic has been not that much important topic. So you will skip that part. You won't be able to write properly in that. So you have to study each and every words which are mentioned in the main syllabus properly. You have to go through each and every topic. So only solving the PYQs will only fetch you around 60-70 marks in mains.
Right.
Out of 200, sir.
And we have like one question from Anshul. I think you touched upon this a little bit already. This is again regarding books. So Anshul is saying, I think a lot of students will be in this bucket, in this boat. That when I study from a book, I often get lost in the book, forgetting more knowledge, which takes time. And did you face such problems? And how did you cope with this?
Sir, actually, initially when I have started the preparation, then I also used to study a lot of books. For exam point of view, you have to be very specific because you have a very less time. 200 marks you have to write in 3 hours. So very limited time is there. So I would say that especially if you are preparing for mains exam, make a proper note that exactly you will write in the exam. Don't read the entire textbook. It will not help you. So that I want to say, sir, on this one.
Okay, yeah, and you that's how you like started this very session also. Like you told like how initially you were trying to look at books, and then you focused on one source which was like Planet Geology video lectures, and that is what I would suggest. What happens like many times is even like when you're trying to read a book. Okay, first of all, even if you're trying to do self study, read a book. If you have background in geology, you have to do very limited and selected study. Another thing sometimes will happen is sometimes like somewhere in GATE or GSI they asked very bouncer question, and you from 5 books you found okay on this book on page number 85 this answer is given in this paragraph, and then you start thinking I have to read the entire book just to so that I will be able to answer that question. So these are traps you have to not like fall into. You say like you have to pick a source and trust it. Okay, do multiple revisions. You don't have to answer each and every question in the exam. You don't have to like either it is GATE, you don't have to score 100 out of 100 marks. Okay, full marks you don't have to score, and by chasing like full marks sometimes we miss out on other things. Okay, so gaining knowledge etc, that is very good thing. You should always try for that, but for examination point of view it needs something else also. So you have to be more goal oriented. What you need to achieve, you need to be more focused, and sometimes less is more, okay, when it comes to exams.
And especially for subjective exam, right? For like even Swayambhu said that for prelims he didn't have notes, right? So prelims is like objective exam. Objective में horizontal study की जरूरत होती है, right? तो उसमें वैसे भी आपको सिर्फ पहचानना है 4 ऑप्शन में से, तो वो वेग मेमोरी काम कर लेगी, बट मेंस में कोरे कागज पे लिखना होता है, तो उसके लिए नोट्स होना चाहिए, ये मेमोराइजेशन होना चाहिए. प्लस व्हाट ही सेड इज दिस इज अ गोल्डन रूल टू क्रैक ओपन एनी एग्जाम. लाइक वी ऑफन इंटरेक्ट विद टॉपर्स ऑफ वेरियस एग्जाम्स, राइट? सो ये कॉमन चीज होती है. सो जैसे कि अभी जस्ट फ्यू मिनट्स अगो आई गॉट अ मैसेज फ्रॉम अ स्टूडेंट. शी आस्क्ड कि सर मेरे को माइनिंग कुछ जियोलॉजिस्ट का कुछ एग्जाम निकला है, उसके लिए मुझे बुक्स बता दो, राइट? सो द सिंपल रूल इज कि कोई भी एग्जाम बुक से पढ़ के क्लियर नहीं होता है, सिलेबस से होता है. हर एग्जाम का अपना सिलेबस है, सिलेबस को उठाना है, सिलेबस सब कुछ प्रिपेयर करना है, वो हो सकता है 5 बुक से 20-30% पढ़ना पड़े या किसी कोर्स से करना पड़े। तो हमेशा सिलेबस उठा के प्रिपेयर करो, ना कि बुक उठा के प्रिपेयर करो, राइट? क्योंकि बुक का नाम नहीं दिया है एग्जाम के सिलेबस में। सो इट इज अ वेरी गुड लर्निंग विच इज कॉमन टू ऑलमोस्ट ऑल दी सक्सेसफुल कैंडिडेट।
Yes, sir.
And okay, we have one question from loser on YouTube, and he's asking, sir, I didn't practice much geology for prelims. Is it okay to practice questions in 25 days or to do multiple revision? So the choice is between should I revise or should I practice questions for prelims?
You can revise the topic in which memorization is required more, like stratigraphy, paleontology, and all. And remaining topics you can practice the questions more.
And these don't have to be mutually exclusive events, right? You
Yes,
can
sir.
keep practicing question and keep revising. Like even in stratigraphy, when you pick up previous year questions, okay, in those previous year questions, you will basically see, for example, some stratigraphy questions have been asked. So they asked about some formation, okay, from India's. So that name will appear again and again, and even that will help a little bit. And if you have questions compiled from stratigraphy, trust me, just solving those questions once, okay, it will take hardly 1 hour. Okay, if you have all the questions
Yes.
compiled. If it's stratigraphy, okay, how many questions will be there? And I'll say like practice also will help you sometimes, like going through the questions, how GSI frames questions. Okay, so what type of questions you get, so that is also important. So I would say, as I said, like if you have to like choose one, so try to for very few which require rote memorization like stratigraphy and all, you do multiple revisions, and then for other practice questions. But practicing questions is important, like for any exam, like blindly if anyone asks for any exams, practicing PYQs questions is important. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Like okay,
I think this is a
Somebody
general
asked.
question for us, Mayank sir, and for Swayambhu as well. Does having first attempt make any impact in interview? Like, does it affect your interview score, whether it is your first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, or fourth attempt?
No, sir, it will not impact, because in the interview panel they will not ask that. Maybe if you have given the interview before, it will help you in the next interview, but it will not impact that much.
Yes, I think one thing that happens, like which is most important for any interview, is a little bit of humility and knowledge. Okay, knowledge with
Yes.
humility is the most important thing to crack interview for any of UPSC exam. Okay, so for example, if you don't have knowledge, only humility, that will not work. If you have knowledge and you have arrogance, that will not work at all. Okay, so and then you need a good level of confidence, but not overconfidence.
Actually, I'll come back to interview because Swayambhu is actually like I think he is the topper in India for interview, and you can see the way he's talking from last 40 minutes. Humility kut ke bhari hui hai, right? But just before that, like this is, I think somebody just Sanjay asked, कि sir, how did you manage your handwriting in mains, right? So actually I would say कि अगर जैसे कि कोई मुझसे पूछता है ना कि किसी को IAS बनना है, somebody came for counseling, कि भाई सबसे अच्छा स्किल सेट क्या चाहिए कोई भी सब्जेक्ट एग्जाम क्रैक करने के लिए, तो आई वुड से कि सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जो चीज होती है वो हैंड राइटिंग ही होती है। हैंड राइटिंग आपको जियो साइंटिस्ट बनाएगा, IAS IFS बनाएगा, क्योंकि कोरे कागज पे लिखना है। तो हैंड राइटिंग स्पीड भी चाहिए और हैंड राइटिंग की लेजिबिलिटी भी चाहिए। सो लाइक वर यू गिफ्टेड फॉर दिस कि ऑलरेडी बचपन से अच्छी है, मेहनत कर ली थी जब, या फिर अभी समहाउ यू वर्कड ऑन इट, या टाइम मैनेजमेंट कैसे किया आपने?
Sir, when I started to write the answers, at that time my speed was very, very less. So means I used to practice the PYQs in the 3 hour time. I used to keep the watch and I was seeing whether I was able to complete or not the 200 papers in the 3 hours. So initially I was able to complete only half of the papers in 3 hours with very bad handwriting. So slowly and slowly by practicing, I was able to complete all the 200 marks paper in the 3 hours, and my handwriting also improved with the continuous practice. So you have to practice. And sir, one more thing I want to add in this, that my the way I draw the diagram is not very good. Means I'm not able to draw the proper diagram, so I use the pencil. Because if I made something wrong, for example, during the drawing of the outline of India, if I make some mistake, immediately I will erase and I will complete the diagram very fast. So my entire mains answer sheet, the final answer sheet, and when I was practicing, both are very neat and clean because of that. So if you are not confident in drawing the diagrams properly, you can use pencil. And if you practice continuously by drawing the diagram, writing, your handwriting will also improve, and the drawing techniques will also improve with the passage of time.
Right. Wonderful, like very wonderful advice on this, right? And it is most practical advice.
Yes.
All right. Like we were also talking about interview, right? So now, can you share like how your interview went? What themes did they touch? And like, why do you
Yes.
think that you got the highest marks in the
Yes.
country?
So before the interview, I was very much nervous because of my engineering background. I thought how they will treat me. So when I entered the interview panel, the chairman asked me to sit. So when I sat down, the first question the chairman asked, because sir, my hobby is dance. So it was too much things are written about the dance in my depth. So the first question the chairman asked was, which type of dance you do? So I've answered the question, which type of dance I do. Then the chairman asked from which country this dance has been originated. So I've answered that questions, and two, three more questions from my hobby only they have asked chairman. After that, the first question the chairman asked was the physiographic divisions of India. So I framed that answer very properly. First, I said extra peninsular, peninsular. Then from south, I went to the north, and then I went to the northeast. Properly, I mentioned everything what comes under physiographic division. So this was the question the chairman has been asked. Then, sir, member one, the first question member one has asked, I was not able to answer. He has asked, what is drastic classification in GIS? So it was very complicated question. I was not able to answer. So I said, I don't know, sir. Then second question, the member one has asked that which version of GIS you have used. So I said 10.6. Then most of the question member one asked me from GIS and ADAS imaging software, because sir, I was from BTech Geoinformatics background. So from very basic to very advanced question member one has asked. He has even asked me, sir, how you will upload the data in the ADAS imaging. So I've answered that question. Then member two asked me that you have qualified GATE in part B of geophysics. So I said, yes, sir, from part B of geophysics I qualified. So he has asked me question from gravimeter, like what is Lacoste gravimeter, what is Woodenberg gravimeter. So as I've studied geophysics, I was able to answer those questions. Then very simple question they started to ask that what is unconformity and what is seismic reflection. After that, sir, again they jumped to very advanced question that can you tell me the groundwater condition of the Rajnandgaon from where I belong? So I said, sir, arsenic contamination is there. Then they said that arsenic exists in two states, +3 and +5. So which is more toxic? So I was not able to answer that question. So this was the second question I was not able to ask. Then the third member, he asked me that in India we celebrate Yoga Day. Why don't we celebrate Dance Day? So I've answered that question. Then he asked, what is the definition of dance? And again, he went to the hobby of what means whatever my hobbies are. After that, then again, advanced question number three started to ask, like in India, we don't get Mesozoic oil field, but in Saudi Arabia, we get Mesozoic oil field. So I've answered that question that India was traveling at that time. And during the Mesozoic, Saudi, the reason of the Saudi was the passive margin. Then he asked, do you know any place in India where we get the gas emitting, the gas is emitting from the subsurface? So luckily I have visited the Geology temple. It was near the Himachal Pradesh. So I said, yes, sir, I have visited one temple, Geology, there the gas was emitting. Then they told, do you know any company which has done some research on that and they didn't find anything? So I said, yes, sir, ONGC has done few projects, but they don't find anything. They asked, why ONGC has not found anything? Then I said, sir, because only methane is there on the subsurface level. There's no traces of the hydrocarbon and methane. So this is how my entire interview went, and the entire members was very happy because the way I have answered all the questions.
Right. It was a very good conversation, mostly on DAF, right? So like they were mostly testing the personality, DAF, the
Yes.
dance keyword, the Rajnandgaon water problem. So just the
Yes.
awareness and whatever the information you gave, and few bouncer question. It was luck. You went to Jwalamukhi temple, and
Yes.
Jwala Devi temple, and so mostly it was hard work, your personality, and a bit of luck. You ended at the top scorer, right? Very good.
Yes, sir.
Chitrang, you want to ask something? Chitrang, you raised your hand. You want to ask something? Okay, like Smriti is asking, sir, how you could study 10 to 12 hours, right? How did you manage anxiety and stress that comes with preparation, right? What kept you motivated? What kept you going, right? और आपने खुद ही ने बताया कि you were actually anxious that anxious about कि eligibility होगी कि नहीं होगी, engineering background है, right? And a lot of things. You were also doing job, so anxiety तो थी उस level पे. So how do you dealt with all that, and what motivated you?
Sir, means I totally, I was very much focused that I have to complete syllabus anyhow. So anxiety was there at that time, but I was focusing on I have to complete syllabus and I have to write the answer as much as best I can. So anxiety was there. It's a natural phenomena because of exam you usually used to get. But my main focus was to study at that time because only 2 months I had. Before that I was working and I was teaching in school, so I was meeting a lot of students, so anxiety was not there at that time, but during mains it was there.
Okay. So like what I can make out is the best antidote to anxiety and stress is discipline and focus.
Yes.
You are disciplined, you are focused कि मुझे पढ़ना ही है भैया, पूरा syllabus करना ही है, and that is it, right? So you did that. Simple.
Yes. And anxiety will come if you are undisciplined, right? So for example, today you did not study and then you will start getting anxious, okay? And then what will happen is because you are anxious, then you will not be able to study further. So that you started to go into that loop, okay? So more anxiety feeds more anxiety. Okay, so it is important to break that loop and like focus on the things that you need to get done and be disciplined. Like one thing is like sometimes repetitiveness and habits, they help a lot, right? So if you try to do same thing over and over again, it will help you reduce anxiety and it will in the end yield results also. Okay, if you think like every day I want to be a new day, every day I need new experiences, that is something that will bring anxiety. Okay, that is important when you're in job. Okay, so every day new challenges, that is also exciting. I'm not saying like you should not live that life, but sometimes you need to be focused and disciplined for achieving particular objectives and goals. Okay, so I'll rephrase this question a little bit from Mohammed, and he's asking like, because the exam pattern changed in 2020, so were the PYQs that were before 2020, were they useful?
For mains it will be helpful, sir, because if you practice the mains answer sheet, first thing is that all the topics will get revised and you will get to know the scope of the exam, means up to what level they are asking. So it will really helpful if you practice the question from 2014. I practiced the question from 2014 to 22.
Okay, yes, that is a nice time frame of like 9 years past years which you can practice.
Also, Swayambhu, did you attend live classes of like Planet Geology, Lawrence sir का, या फिर recorded lecture से देखते थे?
Live classes also I used to attend, sir.
अच्छा, both mix up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Saurav had a question. I think it is related time. I think we already kind of
So if you want to share something like any strategy, focus on which topic किस topic पे ज़्यादा focus करना चाहिए या anything you like, please do share it, right?
हाँ sir. So all in GSI all the topics are important, but for I mostly focus on the topic which we have to memorize, sir, because like stratigraphy, first time I was studying stratigraphy during my mains. Prelims, superficially I have studied the stratigraphy, means what are those. First time I have studied the stratigraphy that this much types of cratons are there, this much type of proterozoic basins are there. So few topics are there where a lot of memorizations are required. So I used to make the mnemonics and then I memorized that. And other topics I like petrology, structural, where conceptual clarity, if you have, you don't have to memorize much. Only diagrams you look properly that how I can draw the diagram if this type of question comes. For example, if Ramsey classification comes, how much diagram I will draw and all those things. So some topics, conceptual clarity are required. Some topics, some mnemonics you have to make, and some means you have to practice a lot so that you can remember the same thing during the exam.
All right. Any more questions, Lawrence sir?
We have some rapid fire requests in the chat box. Okay, I think these are I would say fair questions. So I think some students like maybe want to know you more at a personal level. So are you an early riser or a late nighter?
So late night, I used to study late night up to 3 or 4.
Okay. And more focus, and it is like rapid fire. Okay, so don't think much. All PYQs versus test series.
PYQ, sir.
Okay. Geology versus geoinformatics.
Geology, sir. Because geoinformatics is a part of geology only.
Okay. Geologist versus teacher.
Geologist, sir.
Okay. Good. Yeah, these are like fair questions. Lincoln is also like one of our students only. Okay. Let me see if there are like any more on YouTube. We have addressed most of the questions on YouTube only. Okay. So, all right, Swayambhu. It was very nice having you. Unless like anyone has any final questions, we can end the session here. The same is with Mayank sir. If you have like any final comments, Mayank sir, or any questions, you could ask. It was very nice having you, Swayambhu, here, and we all would like to extend our gratitude for making to this session. We wish you all the very best and all the happiness in all your future endeavors. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
yes.
Lawrence, sir.
Yes, Swami. Like we're actually like we are fortunate to talk to some of the toppers of other exams also. But your humility and your simplicity stand out, right? So I'm like very much impressed and grateful that we could mentor someone like you. So a very like congratulations and best wishes for future, right? And we will be in contact. Like he's asking for your mark sheet and something else. So I think he will be there in the groups for helping for doubt clearance in some way or the other, right? So right, thank you, right? Thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you, Mayank sir, for giving me this platform to share whatever I know to all the students.
Okay. Thank you all. Now we can end the interview and wish you all the very very best. Each and everyone who was on this call, we wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.